The overall goal of a recirculating aquaculture system is to produce more fish, use less water, and have greater control over the environmental parameters. So then, what are the key concepts to consider when maintaining a healthy recirculating aquaculture system that you should know? A healthy recirculating aquaculture system, also called RAS, requires a number of key concepts to be in place in order to function properly. These include water quality management, water treatment, oxygenation, feeding, biosecurity, and lastly, maintenance. When we're talking about water quality management, recirculating aquaculture systems rely on closed-loop water recirculation systems, which means that water quality is of the utmost importance. Ammonia and nitrate levels must be carefully monitored and controlled in order to maintain a healthy environment for the fish. For water treatment, it is critical for removing settleable and suspended solids and maintaining water quality in RAS. This can be achieved through filtration, be it chemical, biological, or mechanical processes. In order for a healthy system, you have to have adequate oxygen levels, which are essential for the health and survival of the fish, as well as the bacteria of the system. Oxygen can be introduced into water through a variety of ways, through aeration with air stones, oxygen diffusers, or by liquid oxygen. Proper feeding is essential for the growth and health of fish in a recirculating aquaculture system. Fish should be fed a balanced diet that meets their nutritional needs, and the amount of feed should be carefully controlled to avoid overfeeding, which impacts our water quality. As for biosecurity, these measures must be necessary to prevent the introduction of disease and parasites. This could be achieved through a number of ways, such as the use of quarantine systems, using disinfection procedures such as ultraviolet light, and other preventative measures such as sterilizing equipment. Lastly, maintenance. Regular maintenance is necessary to ensure that the system is functioning properly and that the components are in good working order. This is a daily, weekly, and monthly activity. These include cleaning and replacing filters, monitoring your oxygen levels, and performing routine inspection of pipes. Basically, in recirculating aquaculture systems, our production systems are designed to recycle and renovate water for the culture of aquatic animals. How we think about RAS today, or how many times does a full volume of water in my fish tank turn over in a day, or even in an hour? So here's an example I've created to demonstrate. I have a 1,000-gallon fish tank, and I want to do 4 complete exchanges per hour, which turns out to be 96,500 gallons of water per day that's going to flow through that tank. That means I have a pump or a pipe that can deliver a flow rate of 67 gallons per minute to that tank to achieve 4 complete turnovers of water. So when thinking about what type of aquaculture system to choose, there are 2 different types of recirculating aquaculture systems that differ in the way that they handle their water exchanges. One is a closed loop or closed recirculating aquaculture system, and the other is a semi-closed recirculating aquaculture system. Closed RAS are completely self-contained and rely on a closed-loop water circulation system. In this system, no water is exchanged with the external environment. This makes a closed recirculating aquaculture system highly efficient and allows for a high degree of control over water quality and the conditions within the total system. However, closed recirculating systems can be more expensive to set up and maintain, and they may require more advanced water treatment technologies to renovate that water. So in a closed commercial system, we will regularly see a volumetric exchange per day of anywhere between 0 to 20%. We tend to find that 2 to 10% of that water is removed when we're capturing and removing our solid waste from the system. A lot of times I'll hear folks say these are zero discharge systems or no waste systems. The reality is that type of talk is mostly marketing lingo. You're going to remove your solids, which is also greater than 90% water from your system, so there's going to be some waste. Semi-closed recirculating aquaculture systems, on the other hand, allow for some water exchange with the external environment. This usually occurs daily, but could also be weekly or monthly. Water is still circulated within the system, but some of it is released and replaced with fresh water from the external source. This can help to maintain water quality and reduce the buildup of pollutants within the system. Semi-closed RAS are generally less expensive to set up and maintain than a closed system, but as I mentioned, they tend to allow for more flexibility in maintaining water quality. They also tend to utilize a lot more water. In California, we have many land-based farms that operate around 80% with recycled water and with 20% renewable water. This can change during the year, say in the summer when it's hotter and the temperature needs to come down to make our fish more comfortable. Then we may exchange more water. But in the winter, with cooler temps and rain, we tend to exchange significantly less water. In some systems, they might receive a complete 100% new water exchange over a few days, while other systems may use that water 15 to 20 times before needing to do a complete renewal. Since water quality is of critical importance in a recirculating aquaculture system, as it plays a major role in the health and survival of the fish, what are some of the factors in RAS that could impact water quality? These factors include the type of fish you are rearing, the stocking density of those fish, and the type and size and dimension of the tank at which you're using. Are you using a long raceway or are you using a circular tank? Tank dimensions and flow of water all affect how the solid waste moves out of that tank. The types of filtration technology you selected also impact your ability to efficiently convert ammonia to nitrate and to capture solid wastes. But the biggest factor, the bottom line, is feeding fish has the greatest impact on your water quality. When talking about factors that impact water quality and fish feed, those include the size of the feed, the type of the feed, such as sinking or floating, the formulation of that feed, and were binders included during manufacturing. Is it a live feed or are you using a manufactured feed? So without a doubt, feeding fish, and in my opinion, since this is my video, is the biggest factor that impacts water quality. So what then are the water quality parameters that we are mostly concerned about? Well, the first one on my list is ammonia. Ammonia is a toxic compound that is produced as a byproduct of fish metabolism, as well as in decomposing organic matter. High levels of ammonia are toxic to fish, and it's important to monitor and control ammonia levels in the recirculating aquaculture system. The next parameter is nitrite. Nitrite is a toxic compound that is produced by the subsequent bacterial breakdown of ammonia. Like ammonia, high levels of nitrite can also be toxic to fish. Not as toxic as ammonia, but it's important to monitor and control the nitrate levels in RAS, especially in less mature systems. Another product that is produced by the further breakdown of ammonia is nitrate. Nitrate is a less toxic compound than ammonia and nitrite and is produced by the further breakdown of nitrite. High levels of nitrates can still be harmful to fish and can interfere with growth and development, but generally, unless you're just completely neglectful, nitrate doesn't just rapidly kill all your fish. A water quality parameter of critical importance is pH. The pH of the water in RAS should be kept within a certain range in order to maintain a healthy environment for the fish. pH is a measure of the acidity or the basicity of the water, and different fish have different pH requirements. I think I made a word up. I produced this graph here to demonstrate why pH is important and explains the role of pH on ammonia speciation in water. When you have more ionized ammonia, which is the blue bars, the ammonia is more toxic than the unionized form. So as your pH becomes more basic towards the pH of 14, the yellow bars, ammonia is less toxic. The next important water quality parameter is temperature. The water in RAS should be kept within a certain range in order to maintain a healthy environment for your fish. Different fish species have different temperature requirements, and it's important to maintain the appropriate temperature for the specific species that are being raised, especially if you're trying to maximize growth and feed conversion rates in commercial systems. Another critically important component is oxygen. Adequate oxygen levels are essential for the health and survival of fish in the recirculating aquaculture system. Oxygen levels should be monitored and maintained at appropriate levels based on the fish that you're producing, the temperature of the water, and the density at which you're raising those fish. This is a good time to mention that bacteria are both your friend and your enemy in a recirculating aquaculture system. The negative effects of bacteria are they consume your oxygen. You may think you're just providing oxygen for your fish, but nope. You're providing oxygen for the health of the entire system that includes your microbiology. Bacteria also create toxic ammonia products, and they could harbor and cause disease in your fish. The positive effects of bacteria is that they drive the entire system and are what makes recirculating aquaculture successful. I kind of think about this like the flux capacitor of the time-traveling car in Back to the Future movies. Bacteria in recirculating aquaculture systems are what makes fish culture possible. Other specifics to be thinking about in terms of bacteria and how they negatively impact your fish's health is that anaerobic bacteria are bacteria that survive and grow in the absence of oxygen. They can be harmful in RAS because they can produce toxins and odorous compounds that can be toxic to fish and other aquatic organisms. Additionally, anaerobic bacteria can consume oxygen, which can lead to low dissolved oxygen levels in the water, which is obviously harmful to the fish. Anaerobic bacteria can negatively impact RAS by producing hydrogen sulfide, a toxic gas that can be harmful if it builds up to high levels in the water, which can also happen in pond aquaculture. Hydrogen sulfide is produced when anaerobic bacteria break down organic matter in the absence of oxygen. You usually know when parameters are way off, as this usually generates a strong, unpleasant smell like rotten eggs. Another way that anaerobic bacteria can negatively impact RAS is by producing organic acids, such as acetic acids and propionic acid, which can lower the pH of the water and create more acidic environment that may be harmful to the fish, as it's going to increase the harmful ionized ammonia species. Aerobic nitrifying bacteria, on the other hand, are the beneficial bacteria that make the RAS systems possible. Aerobic bacteria are also consuming oxygen, and by doing so are consuming your water buffering salts, which is reducing your pH, which then makes ammonia more toxic. This is just another reason why oxygen levels should be monitored and maintained appropriately. For example, the bacteria that converts ionized ammonia to nitrite requires greater than 2 milligrams per liter of dissolved oxygen to function. And your bacteria, which are the ones that convert the nitrite to less toxic nitrate, require greater than 4 milligrams per liter of dissolved oxygen, which further reinforces the importance of having a well-aerated recirculating aquaculture system that supports both your fish and your microbiology. When considering the key concepts for a healthy recirculating aquaculture system, we need to understand how these considerations fit within the overall working components of RAS. I produced this video, which you'll want to watch next, which discusses the 4 components of RAS, which are solid removal, filtration, gas stripping, and oxygenation. And I discussed the technology needed to ensure a healthy recirculating aquaculture system. Thanks for watching. This is Dr. Jackson Gross.